The priest could never have imagined that he would one day become the victim of 3 nuns. They secretly slipped a sleeping potion into his tea and put him to sleep, then carried him to a room and stripped him completely. Later, they drove him to the point where he began to pray to God for salvation.
God, help me.
It all happened on a small island lost somewhere in the sea. In the monastery there, 3 nuns lived in complete isolation. They never had any contact with the outside world. But one day, a young and handsome priest arrived on the island. He never expected that anyone still lived in the old monastery. When the nuns learned that he was a priest, they stopped being wary of him and welcomed him as an honored guest. After dinner, the priest explained the purpose of his visit. It turned out that the church had decided to renovate their monastery and had sent him there to inspect it. He informed them that they would have to move to the mainland and that the church would arrange a place for them in a retirement home. But the nuns didn't want to leave the island and refused. While Sister Kara was clearing the table, she suddenly sniffed the fork the priest had used. She was curious about what a man's mouth might smell like. Kara had been born and raised on the island and had never seen a man before, which made the priest even more intriguing to her. That evening, the nuns discussed the priest's words. Even if they refused to leave, he would still return to the church the next day and report everything, and then they would be forced to leave the island. So the nuns decided not to let him go. The next day, when serving him tea, they added sleeping powder and knocked him out. When he woke up, he found himself lying naked in bed. One of the nuns told him that while he was unconscious, he had fallen and torn his pants, and it would take 2 days to sew them back together. The priest asked for any clothes. He wanted to go outside to relieve himself, but the nuns simply handed him a basin and told him to do it right there in the room. Angry, the priest wrapped himself in a blanket and went outside. He reached the vegetable garden and vented his frustration on the broccoli. That night, as he lay down to sleep, he noticed Sister Maria sitting nearby, watching him. He realized that he was being kept under guard, and decided to escape and tell the church everything, so that the nuns would be punished. During the day, he secretly took a knife from the kitchen. When Maria, who was watching him at night, fell asleep, the priest used the knife to cut open a sheepskin blanket, made himself clothes from the hide, and fled the monastery. However, along the way he cut himself on a sharp branch, and soon fell into a deep pit. The nuns found him unconscious and brought him back to the monastery. Maria treated his wounds, shaved his body and head, and, to keep him from escaping again, tied his legs with bandages. When the priest woke up, he had completely lost hope.
God, help me.